Well, we're now joined by John Gashora, the CEO of NIC Bank. Thank you so much for joining us for this quick fire. Of course, this week the central bank appointed NIC Bank, which is currently to take over the branches and staff of Imperial Bank, which is of course still under receivership. What exactly does that mean?
So thanks Tarian, first of all, for having me tonight. I just want to explain, actually, the appointment was not to take over. What we were appointed as is what's called the asset and liability consultant. And what that means is that we'll be acting as consultants or advisors to KDIC as it tries to milk value from the resources of Imperial Bank for the benefit of the stakeholders. Part of that milking value is assessing the resources available, the assets available, the loans and advances, and with the aim to eventually have those assumed by ourselves, and in the process assume also certain liabilities of the bank. Some of those assets will include branches that we'll be assuming. And I think the other thing that is key in this agreement is that we have to also think going forward what we can do for the staff as well. And I think in the announcement that the governor made, one of the commitments we have made is that we will be assuming the majority of the staff.
But what exactly does that mean? You know, you've talked about assuming the branches, assuming the staff. In other words, and which is why perhaps the dailies and the press said, you know, you are taking over. What's the difference? So
what it actually means, it is under the KDI Act, which created the KDIC. One of the things that KDIC is allowed to do as a receiver, a manager for any bank, is that they can dispose of certain assets for the benefit of depositors. And that disposing of certain assets, what we are coming to do is actually, through that disposal, is then assume. There's a disposing party, which is KDIC, and an assuming party, which will be NIC in this case.
And how about the members of staff? What can they expect now? What
the members of the staff can expect is that through this process, they will certainly be top of mind. Let me just explain.
Will they be absorbed by NIC Bank?
Yes, the majority of them will be absorbed by NIC Bank.
And how about the branches?
The branches, again, the majority of the branches will be absorbed by NIC Bank.
Isn't that a takeover?
Well, it's not a takeover per se. A takeover means that a bank is perhaps under liquidation, is being sold. In this case, the bank is not under liquidation, is not being sold. What it is the same way that the principle is very simple. The principle is this: just because the bank has gone down, if it has the resources to make its customers continue to enjoy those resources, they should be made available.
Is that
the
to
mean says you
that
make
the
it available through a solvent, sound institution, and that is what is going to happen through this process.
So, will the branches remain closed? Will they remain open?
The branches of the Imperial Bank today remain open for borrowers to make payments. What they don't remain open for is for depositors, because depositors cannot access their funds. Through this process, what we are saying is that those branches will actually become NIC branches, and they'll be open. And through that, depositors will be able to access some of their funds. The KDIC did commit that through this process, as long as the existing court cases lift the current hold, that they'll make available up to 1.5 million shillings to the depositors. That money will be available.
Is NIC interested in buying out Imperial? I mean, you've used very careful words such as consultant and assuming, but are you interested
in buying Imperial?
Yes.
No. I don't believe that it's for sale. So at this point, we have not made that consideration. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, John Gashora, the Group CEO of NIC Bank, letting us in on what exactly it means for NIC to assume the responsibility of Imperial Bank. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. All right. Now, the government has been positioning Kenya's